Thanks a lot for taking the time to speak to us today. Really enjoyed your role in the film. It seems like you were this sense of emotional restraint in amongst all this chaos. Is that kind of how you wanted to play it?
Yeah, I wanted, I kind of watched A Few Good Men because when I saw what Guillermo wanted as a design, I could only think of one sort of army personnel that I wanted to emulate, and that was Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. This sort of really stoic, straight, look you in the eye and tell you what you're about. But at the same time, there's an emotional heart there that also the film needs it because there is so much to look at. The spectacle of it is incredible. But there are moments where you actually remind that this is a human story. This is what they're about at the moment. Stacker is the resistance. I love that he is part of that. We're not the army anymore. We're the resistance.
Yeah, there's kind of a presidential quality to your character, isn't there? Really, but it's nice that you're not totally down. You're accountable to no one, and you can wreak havoc and succeed, which is always good fun. One of the things I love about the director's films is that you do have this emotional heart, and your journey is a particularly interesting one because you are very buttoned up at the start, and yet as time goes on, you start to slowly unravel, and it's really, really interesting from to watch you bounce off all the other actors as well. Yeah,
that's great that you're seeing that because it's incremental. It's not obvious. It's definitely slowly. This character, which is the central point, so but we don't want to ram that down the audience's throat. We want to show that slowly, and that was discussed really early.
How is he as a director? Because he's a very we know him for his fairy tales and his sort of visual style, but how is it for you coming into this crazy enormous world and you have to give a performance which will carry the film? You're like the kind of like the foundation of the film. So talk about the discussions between you and the director for that.
That was discussed early. He was very, very pinning the emotional journey on the Stacker character. He was like, characters come to him, they leave from him. Action comes to him, it leaves from him. So it was very important to Guillermo that we got that right, and we discussed. Is he too? At which point can we release his necktie a little bit? The moments where he is, bleeding, do we want it to be emotional or do we want it to be like, sweep it under the carpet? We went for the sweep it under the carpet route because we didn't want the sentiment to get in the way of the rest of the, I've got to discover this, I've got to discover that. And as an actor, that's a massive challenge, you would go into Luther or go to The Wire, you get your lines and you know your character and you just play the truth. In a film like this, the truth is so, elevated, come on, look, what? How does it guide you? Oh yeah. And then, be real in the midst of that.
Is it, just interesting for me, you've done a lot of great work in TV, and TV is evolving to such a different degree as it was like maybe even 10 years ago. You have to create a character within 2 hours. Can you talk a bit about how you found creating the character of something like this, with against something like Luther or against something like your other work? And also, are you going to direct again? Because I know that you've been doing a bit of that.
Yeah, the process of creating a character like this is very much a collaborative one with the director. It's about him mapping out how I'm going to use that character within his film. That's my responsibility to then go, right, I've got scenes that are all discombobulated, so everything needs to be put into this scene, shot then actually is here within the movie. That's part of my responsibility as a journeyman actor. Yes, I can't wait. Ben Affleck is my hero in that sense, you know what I mean? Because he's an actor that turned his vision into great films, and eventually that's where I'd like to end up. I'm not saying I'm good as him, but I just think that, actors are probably the best film students in the world. We work with great directors, we get to watch the crew relate to us, we learn everything, but all we have to do is say our lines and hit the marks. So, I pick up so much, I can't wait to direct more.
Brilliant, I look forward to it. Thank you very much for taking the time.